Hey there, guys. This is Mr. Lamb, and I wanted to take a minute to go over the quiz that I handed back today with you, just so you kind of have an idea of what the right answers are. And that way, if you have any questions, you can come to me with some specific questions as you get yourself ready for a retake, if that's what you're after. So question number one is parts A, B, and C. Each line is worth a half a point. So this question itself will be worth 3 total points. And you just need to classify each triangle on the top line by its side and on the bottom line by its angles. So when we are classifying by sides, we're using words like isosceles, scalene, or equilateral. So as I take a look at 1A, I notice that all 3 sides are different length, so it is scalene. All right, triangle in B, all 3 sides are 8.6, so it is equilateral. Equilateral, meaning equal sides. In triangle C, as I look at the sides, I see I have a 6 radical 2, and another 6, so 2 of them are the same, so it is isosceles. So that is by side. Now, when I want to name it on the bottom by angle, I'm going to use words like acute, obtuse, right, or equiangular. So in triangle number 1, I see that I have an angle that is above 90, so this one is obtuse. In B, all 3 of them are the same. Yes, they are acute, but as I've told you, we want to be as specific as possible. So because they are all the same, this one is actually equiangular. So, word angle. Let me spell it right. Angular. So equiangular. And then for C, I have a 45, a 90, and a 45. Because of that 90, it is right. So, naming those, 1A should have been scalene and obtuse. 1B should have been equilateral and equiangular. And letter C should have been isosceles and right. For any of you that are wondering if all equilateral triangles are equiangular, the answer is yes, they are. If it is one, it is automatically going to be the other one. All right, question number 2 was worth 2 points. And I actually have to do a couple of things. This says first find x. Then I have to find the measure of each side. So I'm going to find x first. It says triangle BCD is isosceles, with BC congruent to CD. So I'm going to draw a picture here. Here is BCD. And BC is congruent to CD. Alright, and then it goes on to say that BC is 2x plus 4. It says that BD is x plus 2. And it says that CD is x plus 6. Now, I had a lot of people on this one. You're probably reading your quiz, and it says sides, not angles. That's because I don't want to add these 3 things up and set it equal to 180, because this is not the measure of the angles. This is the length of the sides. And when I tell you that this thing is isosceles, right, the word isosceles, that means find the congruent ones and set them equal. So in this case, the 2 congruent ones are 2x plus 4 and x plus 6. So I set them equal and solve for x. So if I subtract x on both sides, I'll get x plus 4 equal to 6. And subtract 4 on both sides, I'll get x equal to 2. Then once I know x, I plug this back in to find each one of the segments. So finding x equal to 2, I gave you 1 point for that, and then I gave you 1/3 of a point for each side that you correctly found. So as I go back, what is 2x plus 4? So 2 times x plus 4. Well, this is BC. So BC is 2 times 2, which is 4 plus 4, so it is 8. CD is x plus 6. So 2 plus 6 is 8. And they should be the same because we show that this is isosceles. Now, BD should be something different. Otherwise, it wouldn't be isosceles. It would be equilateral. It is x, which is 2, plus 2. Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. So, if you got one of those, you got in x equal to 2, you got 1.3. If you got two of them, you got 1.7. And if you got all of them, it was worth 2 points. All right, question number 3 is worth 3 points. Each one of these was worth a point. I give you a picture, and you need to find all of the other angles. So, angle 1, I noticed this triangle right here in green. Triangles have to add up to 180. So if I do 180, and I subtract 50, and I subtract 70, I get 60 degrees. So number 1 is actually 60. For angle 2, I have this linear pair right here. Has to add up to 180. So 70 plus 110. I'm going to do 180 minus 70. So that means angle 2, this is 110. Well, now I have another triangle. I'll do it in purple. This triangle down here is 110, 21, and something. So if I do 180 minus 110 minus 21 is 49 degrees. So that is worth 3 points. Question number 4 is worth 1 point. And it just says find x. Well, this angle out here is what we call an exterior angle. And my 2 other angles I'll do in blue. This is a remote interior. And angle Q is a remote interior. Now, if you remember what the exterior angle theorem says, it says that an exterior angle, 8 plus 6x, is equal to the sum of the 2 remote interiors. So I'm going to add together 30 and 4x plus 2. All right, so let's combine like terms. So 8 plus 6x. 30 plus 2 is 32 plus 4x. Subtract 8 on both sides. So 6x equals 24 plus 4x. Subtract 4x on both sides is 2x is equal to 24. And then divide by 2. And x should be 12. And then number 5 was worth 2 points. And it was very similar to a problem that we saw earlier. You got a point for finding x. And then you got 1 total point for finding the measure of each angle. And I did a third, a third, and a third. Well, this one I can see these are angle measures, right? Unlike question 2. Question 2 dealt with sides. Question 5 does, in fact, deal with angles. And I know that the sum of the angles of a triangle has to be 180 degrees. So 2x plus 2 plus 2x plus 2 again plus 3x plus 1. I add all 3 angles up, it has to equal 180. All right, well, combined like terms, 2x, 2x, and 3x is 7x. 2, 2, and 1 is 5. That equals 180. Subtract 5. 7x equals 175. And divide by 7, and you get x to be 25. So that's the first point. Then with x equal to 25, I just plug it in. So I will plug in right here, 25. So 2 times 25 is 50 plus 2 This angle up here is 52 degrees. And if I plug in 25 right here, 2 times 25 is 50, plus 2 is 52 degrees. And if I plug in a 25 right here, 3 times 25 is 75, plus 1 is 76 degrees. And again, I gave you a third of a point for each one of those 3 angles. So x equals 25 was worth 1 point, and then a third of a point for each one of the angles that you can find. That makes this quiz in total out of 11 points. So if you want to know how you did as a percentage, you can take your score and divide by 11. I hope this helps, and if you're looking for a retake, please let me know, and let's get a time scheduled. See you guys.